Going for a 4-4-2.
He didn't know what was going on in the room.
Elias managed to refrain from swearing.
He said, if you've got a problem with me, let's sort it out in the gym.
He's actually defending the Look, the thing is...
Come on! Go on! Where has that come from?
Yeah.
They brought through the door. You know, you look at the...
What a performance, the guys...
Goal that was ruled off. Quite a stupid thing, but
Live from South Space at the supporters club. Right.
But he was getting a bit tired, I thought.
Come on! Here we go! Come on! Come on! Yeah! Go!
Well, that's certainly not like the season end of us being 3-0 up against another fellow London club and suddenly drawing the game 3 each. It feels more like a defeat. I'm deflated. I'm down. But if you'd have spoke to me 5 minutes before the halftime whistle, I was up and I was buzzing with life. Welcome back to West Ham United for our highlights and words review show. I'm Anton, joined by Stel and Matt. We all three of us done the show, the Match Day Live. Stel, sum it up very briefly, and then we'll start dissecting the game.
Disappointing, 3-0 up. Didn't seem to have the maturity to see the game out. We got scared when we were 3-0 up. I don't think we knew what to do with the game, and we couldn't. We allowed Arsenal to get back into it. The ref played a big part as well, and it does feel like a defeat. Totally like a defeat.
It really does. Matt, let's just get straight into it, mate. When you talk about starting lineups, we were disappointed after the Manchester United game. However, Moyes answered us and gave us exactly what we wanted with this lineup. What was your thoughts initially when you looked at it?
I thought it was promising. He put all his cards on the table and we're going to go for this from the off. He couldn't have given that a stronger attacking lineup at all. You've got a solid back four that's been reliable, the two holding midfielders that play every week, and he gave us options going forward. There was nothing to moan about. It was a complete contrast to the Man United game before. Yeah, absolutely, mate. It really, really, really was. Then let's discuss the Arsenal team. I mean, I think the biggest thing there was the inclusion of Aubameyang and Lacazette playing together for the first time in a while. Still, we always knew that no matter what team and how iffy or inconsistent Arsenal have been this season, when they've got two top quality strikers like that. I think last season, Matt, were representing Arsenal with up to 70 plus goals and assists between them. I mean, we know they're a threat or whatever happens, don't we still?
Yeah, when we saw that lineup, we did sort of debate that maybe we would have the better of it in defence and midfield, but they seem to have the more natural goal scorers in that bit with Aubameyang and Lacazette on. So I thought that's how the game might go in a way. It kind of did, didn't it? Because with Aubameyang didn't really do much, but Lacazette is always a threat. He loves scoring against us, doesn't he? And when we saw those two players on, I think there was a little bit of, how's this going to go? So I think I was surprised. I think we were all a little bit surprised that he played both Aubameyang and Lacazette.
Yeah, but, absolutely. Yeah. Well, listen, let's go into the game, the first half in particular, and we can't even remotely deny. I mean, it was a great start, wasn't it? 10 minutes into the game. It was all West Ham, really, wasn't it, Matt?
Yeah, the first 10 minutes, I don't think Arsenal had a touch in our final third. We were winning the 50-50s, we were pressing high, we were forcing them to play goal kicks long. Everything was going, the only thing you needed in that first 10 minutes was a goal. But it was... Like I said, I think I made a comment. I think we took more touches in we took more touches in the first 5 minutes of that game than we did in the 90 against Man United, because we were on the ball, dictating the play, passing. Not nowhere near how we finished the game, but it was a bright, energetic, confident start.
Yeah, Absolutely. And then, of course, that bright, confident start led us to an absolutely fantastic goal from West Ham. I think myself and you, Matt, were saying in the first half in particular that we needed to capitalise on this flow of play that we were doing, pressing Arsenal and their defence. And we were saying how we would like to have seen Antonio switch a little bit more centralised. However, from the wing, he received the ball from Benrahma. He played the ball back onto the edge of the box to Lingard. And, I mean, talk me through that goal still. It was a fantastic goal from Lingard, wasn't it?
It was a great goal. I think, like you said, our build-up play was really good. It was crisp passing. Antonio is interesting because you were saying right at that time in the game, Antonio's going out wide and maybe that threat goes, and I suggested that maybe, that gives the midfielders the opportunity to push forward. And great sighting by Antonio. He saw Lingard waiting just outside the box, and what a strike, and we were in dreamland, weren't we? For Lingard to. But you could see as the game was wearing on, there was a lot of asked of Lingard, and he tired. But great start for him. Great start for West Ham.
And then we didn't even have time to even dissect that chance when a West Ham player, I can't remember who was pulled down. Was it Souček? I think it was. And then Lingard, using his initiative, played a very quick free kick and played the ball through to Bowen inside the box, and he puts West Ham 2-0 up, Matt. I mean, we're in dreamland at that point, aren't we?
I think everyone, including the Arsenal players, were a bit stunned by it. I said it was really intelligent play by Lingard. They were complaining about the free kick. I mean, he pulled the defender down from behind, so I don't even know what they were complaining about. And he said Lingard jogged up, didn't look like he was interested, saw that Bowen was free, just slipped him in. It was a brilliant goal. And like you said, from being in the first 10 minutes where I said we was on top and we needed a goal, we went 5 minutes later or 6 minutes later and we scored twice in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really interesting, isn't it? Because we've been upset with the referee for the game, and yet one of the things he did for us was allow us to take that free kick quickly, which gave us the advantage. Because for the type of game the ref had, it wouldn't have surprised me if he called that back if that was later on in the game. So that's the one thing. Leicester have gone 1-0 up against Man United. It's the one thing that Iheanacho again, who we were meant to buy about 4 years ago. But that's the one thing that I think the ref gave us. He gave us an advantage.
Yeah.
And Bowen scored it with his right foot, and it was a really well taken goal. And
it really was, and it's going to be a confidence booster for the likes of Bowen, who's obviously been, people have been saying to him about his final third and his finishing, etc. But he's got a goal, he's got off the mark again, and hopefully that can boost on his season. I mean, 25 minutes into the game, lads. I mean, we were sitting 35% possession inside the Arsenal half, so we could see the pressure was piling on. Arsenal didn't really have a lot of chances, to be honest. They were trying their best to switch a few things. Lacazette was dropping deep. Odegaard was trying to do some funky stuff, but it just really wasn't really happening for them, to be honest. Matt, I mean, the game hasn't. I mean, we're 2-0 up. We go into the 33rd minute. The ball gets crossed, and I think the ball's going out for a goal kick.
Yeah.
Bowen finds himself a great run to keep the ball in. He tries to cross it, hits a deflection, finds its way to Soufal, who delivers the ball absolutely pin perfect onto Antonio's head. Antonio heads the ball down towards goal, hits off of Souček, and it's 3-0 West Ham. I mean, mate, 33rd minute and we're 3-0 up against Arsenal at home. Talk to me.
Well, I mean, obviously it was. I think you thought it was offside, but I think Antonio was not celebrated and livid because Souček had nicked his goal. Because Souček tucked a boot out and just sort of toe poked it in the top corner, didn't he? But this is, I was going to say, it was a great bit of play. It was, really well done from Bowen to keep the ball alive. Fantastic delivery from Soufal. But this was almost the turning point in the game. We almost got that third goal too early. It's stupid as it sounds. If we'd have got that goal half an hour later and on the 60th minute we went 3-0 up, having continued to play the way we played, we may have seen the game out. But we went 3-0 up inside 35 minutes, and all of a sudden, the team didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's the point I'm about to make. Still, I think that third goal for West Ham, really was it was like enough is enough from Arsenal, and that's when Arsenal decided to actually, push forward and press West Ham and put us under pressure. And literally 5 minutes later, unfortunately for us, Souček has scored an own goal, albeit, listen, it's the rules and that state that if the ball's going wide, it takes a deflection off Souček, it's going in. But Callum Chambers caused West Ham problems from probably that goal for the rest of the game, and I'm sure he's actually picked up man of the match today. And
it's really interesting, isn't it?
It's funny because he was one I picked out at the start of the game, saying he's not really a right back. I don't see why he's playing there, but he was fantastic for him.
Yeah, and he did cause us problems. More problems, I think we anticipated going forward. And that gave them the spur. And I think 3-0 at 3-0. I don't think any of us were confidently thinking this is it, game over. But I just wonder in the players' minds whether they thought that on the pitch. Because all of a sudden, it looked as if the only team in it, once we went 3-0 up, the only team that was in the game was Arsenal. It didn't look as if they were 3-0 down. Yeah. Because all of a sudden they started coming at us. They started to make us look shaky. We weren't holding the ball as well as we were for the first half an hour. Our passing was sloppy. Our build-up play was all of a sudden. It looked as if we were losing the game. And they would sort of and it was weird. And I kind of felt it in my gut when they pulled one goal back before half time. I was just thinking to myself, it's going to be a difficult second half.
Well, I think we came on. We'd done the halftime review, and we were sitting there, and we can't help but feel we were slightly deflated. The three of us were on the channel and doing the show, and we were over the moon, over the top. Didn't have a clue what was going on, and that one goal just took the stuffing out of us. Yeah. It was honestly like I was winded, and I just didn't know what to do. However,
it's almost as if it took the stuffing out of the team.
Yeah, it really did. I think it did. Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, we've gone into the second half, and really we said as long as West Ham get a hold of the ball. And we don't want Arsenal to change it up and actually continue the second half as they finished the first half. But they did. They absolutely did. And as you can see from the stats, they turned round possession by the end of the first half by bringing the ball 25% into the West Ham half when it was pretty much always in the Arsenal half. But then the second half kicked off, guys. We were under pressure from the off, really, weren't we, Matt?
Well, they came out the doors flying the same way that they finished. We were sitting there saying before half time, hopefully we can get to half time and we can, get our heads back in gear and come out and start maybe the way we started in the first half. But it was like the half time didn't exist. They Arsenal come flying out same way they finished. Constant pressure. We couldn't get on the ball. We couldn't make more than 3 passes. Everything was just being one touch and then hoof cleared, back to Arsenal to recycle, come back again. Yeah. And it was just a matter of time.
And do you know what, though? Even before that, though, I think Arsenal found their way through on goal. Lacazette was through, chipped the ball over the top of Fabianski, and fair play to Diop, cleared the ball off the line. But at that moment, then we knew that this was going to be backs against the walls. West Ham were going to have to be protecting the leads. And we kind of felt, didn't we, Stel? We were like, shit, if they get another goal, what is going to happen? And Matt, I know you made the comment, if they get another goal, I can see us losing this game. But the stats were intensifying against West Ham. They were 60% in the West Ham half, leading up to the second goal for Arsenal. But it came on the 61st minute with a second own goal. Still, what was your thoughts then?
Well, as we know, it shouldn't have even got to our. People are talking about Bowen going down easily. I think that was a foul on Bowen, and yet the free kick went the other way, and that allowed Arsenal to break free and score that goal. So I think it was unfortunate. I think I've seen. I know people are going to hate me for saying this, but I think Dawson was rash. You know, he swiped at it. You know, I think it was a really rash clearance, and we shouldn't have been in that position to concede that second goal. It was our own making in a way, but that was Arsenal pressing. Arsenal were pressing; they were going forward in their droves, getting that ball in. And the irony, I said at the start of the game, I thought we were more solid defensively and central midfield, and yet Arsenal kind of proved that their attacking players were better than our defence and our central midfield, even though we scored another own goal. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
Yeah. Well, listen, Matt, again, Arsenal are on attack, still attacking, and we're sitting here now talking about substitutions, and then obviously West Ham make the substitution. We bring Mark Noble on for Jared Bowen. What was your thoughts then?
I could see why he made it, but it actually made, I can see Moyes' thinking, because they were just going through the middle of the midfield at will. You know, with Lacazette dropping deep and Odegaard floating, it was almost like they had 4 centre mids at one point and we were just getting overrun. The problem was, Noble made no difference. I made the comment straight away. As soon as Noble went into the middle, yet again, Odegaard picked up the ball, turned and played the ball straight through the middle to Lacazette, who dropped deep again. So it was like, there was no point. You might as well brought on another defender and pushed one of the a defender into midfield. It was. I understand the tactic. It just did not work in the slightest. He was trying to stem the tide, trying to make us more compact, and nobody didn't make a difference.
Yeah,
I don't know what could have made a difference because they were fantastic going forward in that second half of Arsenal, but then,
I mean, listen, we always knew, again, between both sides, if both teams had a opportunity, it could be the difference between West Ham walking away with 3 points or even Arsenal walking away with 3 points. And West Ham, from brilliant work through Benrahma on the 76th minute, hit the post. I mean, he's gone down the wide, it's gone across the goal, and Antonio Watt still a yard out. It's hit the bottom of his studs, and it's hit the post and it's gone away. And that was it. That was the game right there for West Ham to get the victory, wasn't it?
It's what Matt said during the game. A striker, a natural goal scorer, could have probably slotted that in.
Yeah.
You know what that reminded me of? It reminded me of Euro 96 when
Gaza and Southgate.
Gaza stretched out and just missed it. Midfielders tend to do that. Antonio's a midfielder. You know, but a natural goal scorer might have just, would have found a way to get that in. But it was a great run from Benrahma. I mean, I'm a bit confused about. I don't understand our fan base, because everyone's screaming for Benrahma to start. Benrahma started, and then everyone's going, well, Benrahma didn't. Benrahma is the sort of player that plays in spurts. That's the type of game he plays. He's not going to run around with a ball at his feet for 90 minutes. He's not a Maradona, and I thought that run proved to me that Benrahma could still have created something. And then straight after that, he was subbed.
Fredericks came on from the 79th minute. Yeah, 79th minute, I think it was, when he came on. Yep. And Fredericks came on, which, I mean, depends on what you want to think there. Was he looking at trying to solidify that victory, 3-2, etc. However, more subs were made for Arsenal. Martinelli came on for Aubameyang, and literally within a second later, Lacazette scores a header thanks to a Pepe cross down the right-hand channel. I mean, it was just so disappointing, really, wasn't it? And at that point, I mean, it was 82nd minute, and at that point, you could have really seen West Ham losing the game, Matt. I know you said that, didn't you? But, I mean, talk to me about that moment.
Well, when I say I think he made the wrong sub, I don't think he made the wrong sub in taking off an attacker for a defender.
Yeah.
But we were sat here saying, and we could quite clearly see that everything was going down their right-hand side, down our left-hand side. Everything was going down there. And we were saying for about 15 minutes, even before that, when Noble came on, we're like, he needs to get Ben Johnson on to put in front of Creswell to give him some cover. So when you think, Fredericks is coming on, I thought, well, Fredericks has played on the left-hand side. He's not as great there, but you know what? If it's a body in front of Creswell or alongside him, give something else. No, instead he put him over on the right-hand side where they weren't really attacking.
Yeah.
And then yet again, they went down their right-hand side.
This is the thing. This is the thing I was saying to Matt, in the tail end of the match, the watch along, that whenever Moyes decides to make us defensive, it never works. Never works. Every time he tries to, I didn't think that bringing on those players was necessarily wrong, either Noble or Fredericks, but it's who he took off that was more of a concern for me. When you had Antonio flagging again, stayed on for the whole 90 minutes. Benrahma, who just had that great run, which you could see he could probably do something if he was, he still had a threat. And it's ironic because the minute Benrahma came off, Lingard had no help either, which it kind of defunct Lingard's game too. And I think the mistake was, I think Bowen shouldn't have come off. He gets a lot of stick. I don't think, I get it. I get why you'd want to bring on defensive minded players. But one of those players for me should have been Antonio. And I think, and then maybe Bowen after that. I think Benrahma should have stayed on because it kind of nullified Lingard's game. You saw Lingard getting the ball, in the latter stages of the game, running forward, and he had just Antonio looking like he was dead on his feet. And Lingard had to do it all himself, and that's the thing sometimes you got to question Moyes on. It's his, Moyes' head is always defense. I'm going to get 3-1 up, 3-2 up. I'm going to get defending. It doesn't work.
Yeah,
we lose something in it. That's what he did against Man U, and that's what he's done in the latter stages of this game. And we've dropped 5 points from those games. Lost Man U, and now we dropped 2 points from today. And it's a shame. It's a shame because you understand it, but at the same time, you get frustrated by it.
Yeah. Literally a couple of minutes after they've scored the goal to equalise, he thought it was all dead and buried. And then Declan Rice gathers the ball from our defence and goes on this absolutely crazy run forward. And I mean, obviously, it wasn't the best of shots in the end. However, the game goes out. It's 3-3. The end result is 3-3. West Ham have drawn the game after being 3-0 up. It is disappointing, though, isn't it, lads? Really.
Say that again, mate. I was reading the chat.
Sorry, Matt, it's disappointing, isn't it?
Oh, if we'd have been 3-0 down, you were sitting there celebrating like a win. But you said we 3-0 up, probably scored the third goal too early, and we just sat back and invited it. And in the end, we probably got. We said at the end of the live stream, on paper, you'd probably say a 3-3 was a fair result. A draw was a fair result because we were outstanding for 30 minutes and we got battered for 60. We didn't do enough in the 60 minutes after we went 3-0 up to deserve to win. But the way we've given it, it's 2 own goals, an absolutely awful referee performance from John Moss, in my opinion, and a lot of people on Twitter, not just West Ham fans, are saying the same thing. They had an awful performance.
Yeah,
it's cost us, 2 points that feels like it cost us 3.
Right, lads, I'm going to let you two finish off if that's okay. I need your head. I've been pulled into the. Yeah,
I think that's it,
I'm not
mate.
going to lie. That's it.
I think that's it. To be honest, I think we've got through some of the comments. I don't think there's much else to say. You go. Not much else to say, really. It's I can see people are talking about Benrahma in the chat, and there's quite a lot of difference of opinion. I think Benrahma is picked. I don't know if today's game has done Benrahma any favours or not, Matt. Because I can see him being dropped for the next game. I don't know what you think.
I've said before, and I said when we're playing the lesser teams, not the quote-unquote big sigs, then you should probably be playing Benrahma because he had unlocked defences. And for half an hour, Arsenal couldn't handle him. And I think after half an hour, Arsenal said, you know what, forget him, we'll just attack. He's a bit like Payet in that he will track back, but he's not he's not a defensive player, Benrahma, so he doesn't always follow the runs. He doesn't switch on. He doesn't tackle. Isn't as aggressive. He's the guy you want going further forward. And if we'd have had Fornals on the bench, I would have probably given Benrahma 10 minutes to start the second half and then brought Fornals on.
If Fornals was fit, he would have started today, wouldn't he? Over Benrahma.
Because Fornals is the more gritty, hard-working, defensive-minded player. Mm-hmm. And, I said we've got this game, then we've got Wolves and Leicester, I think, national break. Then we've got a run of easy games apart from Chelsea. So in the easier games, I would play Benrahma. But in those harder games, I'd be tempted to play Fornals because of his work ethic and how more defensive-minded he is. But that being said, Moyes played the hand he was dealt. Last week, we moaned that we were too defensive and he shut up shop and we got beat a disappointing 1-0. Today, he went the other way and went, all right, I'll play with the attacking players, so I've got no attacking subs, and we'll try and get ahead and see the game out. And we got in front, but if we'd have had attacking subs on the bench, I think we probably could have gone further. I just think when it was 3-2 and we were trying to sit back, we had no guys to bring on to play up the pitch. We had no one
That's
to.
The thing.
We had no
because
to bring on.
Moyes' mindset went straight into defence mode.
Yeah,
and like I said earlier, going into defence mode it never works for us. And the defence mode bringing Noble on. I will repeat. I think his mindset was right. It's like I need to close this down. Need to close it up. Bringing on Noble to shore up the midfield and bringing on a defensive-minded player, for attack-minded player, kind of made sense. But as you said yourself, Matt, it made no difference in midfield. In fact, if anything, in the centre of midfield, it made it worse with Noble on. They were still threading the ball through us, still creating all the chances. But it's like, to me, the way we finished the game was the way we played the game against Man United, where we had too many defensive-minded players on and there was no outlet. Lingard was on his own. Antonio was on his last feet. And it was a shame, and it does feel like a defeat today. Victor, you're absolutely right. We need another central midfielder with legs to get around the pitch. Noble doesn't offer it anymore. And we love Noble, but...
Well, I made the comment when he came on. They came on about 15 minutes too early. You want to bring Noble on when you've got like 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes left and you're trying to see out a 2-0 result. You don't bring Noble on for Bowen with 18 minutes plus injury time to go when you're being absolutely battered. Like I said, I know why he done it. He wanted to fill out the midfield. But he didn't actually do anything, did he? He didn't make that midfield into a 3. He didn't make it more solid. They were still just passing through at will. And it was like...
The game passed him by, didn't it?
Yeah.
But this is not on Noble. This is not on Noble. It's not what we're saying.
More
Moyes.
But I said he should have brought on Johnson rather than when Noble come on. I thought it was Johnson coming on to sit on the left hand side. But he didn't have any attacking subs. He only had Lanzini and Odebiku, who doesn't really fancy. So basically, he had Lanzini as an attacking sub. So like I said last week, he went more defensive and put the defensive players on, so he had the attacking subs to make. This week he's gone. Well, we should go for the attacking players. But as Fo said there, if we had a clinical striker, it would have been different, because...
It would have been a different game.
I said, if you had a proper striker on the pitch, someone who gambles on scoring, that Antonio chance goes in, because they would know that in that position, Benrahma's thing is going to be, I'm putting that across the box for you to score. Whereas Antonio was probably thinking, Benrahma's going to shoot.
Yeah. Shall we wrap it up? Because I don't really know what else to say, to be honest. Disappointing. It's funny. We had an Arsenal fan on earlier saying you celebrated too soon. We weren't celebrating at 3-1. We knew going in
at 3-1.
Yeah, we knew going in at half time 3-1 was probably the worst scoreline for us. And we were a little bit apprehensive. 3-0 might have been different. 3-0 might have been different, but 3-1 gave them that window, didn't it?
And at 3-2, I said they would win. So I'm kind of glad they didn't. We managed to get a point out of it. But I said, it's just... and the thing is, this is probably going to reflect worse again on Arteta, because it's going, why don't you play that team, the attacking players, more... it's the first time, I don't know in how long, that he's played both Lacazette and Aubameyang together. Had you played them more often, you'd probably be higher than you are now.
Schizo made a good point here. I know Odebeko didn't shine in the last game, but surely give him 5 minutes or so when Antonio's wiped out.
Well, I mean,
Why
would,
not?
but
Why not? Yeah,
apparently not.
yeah. Hammerwell, what went wrong in the second half? Moyes too defensive and the players not used to winning a game in the first. Well, I think that's what we were thinking. But, you know, Moyes only went defensive was it at 3-2 he changed it, or 3-1? 3-2.
Yeah.
So, you know, Moyes kind of looked at the game and
he didn't
I
change
get
it
it.
to
I get it. Yeah.
Like we said, we went 3-0 up and then they didn't know what to do. They should have just kept pressing and like gone for the fourth. But we got to 3-0 and we were like, oh, I don't know what we do now. Well, let's not go too gun ho. And we just sat back and completely gave them the ball and invited pressure, and pressure tells. You can't sit back and be absolutely pounded for 60 minutes and expect not to concede any goals. It's just frustrating the way 2 of the goals went in. You know, we had 2 own goals. John Moss had an argument with Moyes. It seemed after that argument that every single decision went against us. Almost like to prove a point to Moyes that no, I'm the guy in charge. But you know what? We actually managed to get a point out of it, so we'll take
got
the
a point. But what this does is, what it means is, you know, if we'd won today, it would have been 4 wins in a row, which would have matched the 2002 statistic, because the last time we won 4 home games in a row was back in 2002. We haven't done that. So that's out the window. But more importantly for this season, not winning today means that we're 2 points behind Chelsea, no more games in hand, but it opens it up for the teams behind us, doesn't it, Matt? You know, all the teams behind us can now catch us up. Spurs, Liverpool.
I said a little while back that I didn't think we'd get top 4. I said I'd take top 6. I said it was fine. It wouldn't surprise me if we finished 8th. And people were like, oh, we can't finish 8th. But the league is so tight, and it has been for a while. We've been keeping our head just above water. At the moment, we are again just above water, so to speak. You know, we've never been far and clear in front. It's always just been we've been there in and about, and we are again there in and about. It's just, you know, it's just one of them. You can't moan at Moyes because Moyes went out there today, played the attacking players, played the attacking football. Unless he said to them at 3-0, right, sit back now, don't do anything, then you can moan at him. But I don't think he did, because it was almost like in the middle of a half, so he wouldn't be able to get the point across that well without sitting at half time. But look, we're still in it. You've still got other teams have got to win. You know, we've played the same games as Liverpool. We're still 3 points in front of them. Everton have got a game in hand, and if they win it, they'll go behind us on goal difference. Tottenham play tonight, and they play Aston Villa. Villa aren't far behind them, so we've still got a cushion-ish. You know, it's just
it would have been a bigger cushion had we won today. But you know what? Still 5th place, 9 FA Cup finals to go. We are still in the shout with a shout. It's been the best season ever. I guess it's because our expectation has gone so high, sky high, that when something like this comes about, it makes us feel sick. You know, because like, you know, oh no, mate, no, don't get me started on that. It's again. I keep saying, I've been saying it most of the season when we kind of lose or like come up with a result like this is what if. I'm trying to find a what if today, and I don't know if I can. I think
the only what if I would say is if Antonio scored.
Yeah,
that's the only what if I've got.
Yeah.
They've gone 4-2. Would that have been the end of it?
Exactly. It would have been the end of it. I think it would have been. Yeah, they wouldn't have come back from a 4-2. No. Anyway, that's been it. We have been on for something like 4 hours or so today.
Yeah.
So I hope you've enjoyed all our programs. It's still early enough in the evening to have another beer and watch Line of Duty, which is back on at 9 o'clock. So there you go.
And
that's why I'm not doing my
Villa
show
Tottenham
tonight. Oh yeah, well, yeah, I'm not going to watch Tottenham.
Villa.
Join me, Villa. Well, draw do. Join me tomorrow night for the West Ham Weekly on the Monday night. Matt, you're on Tuesday for the.
Me and Jake.
That's going to be interesting to do the rating show. That's going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
We've got an international break now, so there's no game next weekend. But we will probably bring you. There is 1 or 2 shows that we've talked about that we'll let you know about as the week progresses on. But thank you all, and we'll see you all very soon. Any last comments, Matt, before we go?
No. That's
I'm really, really disappointed.
yeah.
Really disappointed. But there you go. There you go. We didn't lose. Yes, Jake, I just said that player ratings on Tuesday. Don't worry. I've given it a plug. So join Jake and Matt on Tuesday for the player ratings. And see you tomorrow night in West Ham Weekly. You see Matt and Jake again on Tuesday for the rating show. And we might come up with another show between now and between Tuesday and the next time we're on. Have a good week, everyone.